there's a dog around here. That was gay. So today, we are going to relive lost memories because Entei is just a bunch of ones and zeros on a hard drive somewhere being overwritten as a ghost file.
Oh my god.
So we have come to the dog park to catch our Entei today. Now the only cool thing about that, since I already have 3 Enteis, is the fact that today is exactly 7 days away from October 1st. And what that means is that on October 1st, I should be able to get Suicune first thing. So that's a good thing. So we're gonna catch Entei really fast. First things first, shiny check this Grimer. Of course not. Nope.
He's bad.
Yeah, this way. Further. Dude, he's literally as big as you are. He keeps like drifting. He's like drifting up the hill. On your phone? I am, and he's drifting. Come closer to me. You look like tiny compared to this thing. Just because I don't want to waste any more Pokeballs. So Simply Amazes, attack, so a 15 attack, that's it. I don't even know if that's the strongest one I have. I don't think so. No, not even close.
It's me, your boy, Hijack Channel Man here, and I found Goldman, Ron Goldman. Man, look at that boy. Watch this. Oh, don't watch. Go back.
Tonight at 10 on WXL ABC 45. That moment when Steve kept it real.
How big are your lips?
You blind?
It fled. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.
Alrighty guys, so today I wanted to go over a couple of more things for Gen 4. Only the Pokemon that are currently in Pokemon Go versus the Pokemon that are coming out in Gen 4. I wanted to give you basically a heads up on what you should be collecting right now, what you should be grabbing for the candies, things to get prepared for when Gen 4 releases, so that as soon as you get the Gen 4 update, you will be able to evolve these Pokemon and go ahead and get the Dex entries out of the way. So first on the list is Magnezone. Obviously Magnezone is going to come from Magneton, which comes from Magnemite. So right now during the Kanto event, you have a few days left. Go ahead and grab up all the Magnemites you can. I have been storing tons of them. I did evolve a few Magnetons just so I could have those, but I've also been grabbing a whole bunch of candies. I think I'm up to, like, even after doing the evolutions, I'm up to like 150 again, something like that. So, Magnezone, as we talked about in the previous video about Gen 4, Magnezone is going to be a pretty big deal. So make sure you hop on Magnezone, grab him while Gen 4 comes out. That way you'll have him early, surprise people when you're taking over gyms, when you're jumping in raid battles with people. That way you'll already have it out of the way. Next we have Licky Licky. He's going to evolve from Lickitung, and currently during the Kanto event, Lickitung is spawning apparently, even though I have not seen any. He is a level 2 raid boss, so you can pretty much solo him if you're up towards like the 25, 30 level mark, definitely. You can solo the level 2s. Him being normal, obviously you can fight him with some fighting types, and it'll be pretty easy. I have still yet to find a Lickitung raid. I will be hunting for them tomorrow, but Licky is not going to be anything special like when it comes to stats or anything. So you basically just want to go ahead and hoard any kind of Lickitung candies that you can get. Go ahead and grab them while you can, and then once Gen 4 falls, you'll be able to go ahead and grab your Licky. Now we have Rhyperior, which we've talked a lot about. We know that he's going to be a big deal when Gen 4 releases, so the best thing to do, obviously he comes from Rhydon and then Rhyhorn. You want to go ahead and grab your Rhyhorn candies during the Kanto event while it's out. I've been stockpiling tons of them. I already have, I think, 3 Rhydons, and I'm debating on whether to get one more. I really don't know if I want to go ahead and push to get one more. I may go ahead and get one more and just try to catch up with some candies. Depending on how many candies I get, I may catch until the end of the Kanto event, and then based on how many candies I have, either evolve or hold on to the candies so that I can make sure to get Rhyperior when he drops, pending that he does not use any kind of evolution item, because if you remember in Gen 4 they did use evolution items to get to Rhyperior. So just make sure that you go ahead and grab the candies while you can during the Kanto event. If you live in a biome where Rhyhorn is very popular, by all means be stocking up now, get them while you can, and then get this beast whenever he comes out, because like we talked about in the previous video, he's going to be pretty good. Next we have Tangrowth. Obviously Tangrowth comes from Tangela, which Tangela is kind of a rarer Pokemon at the moment. He does show up during the Kanto event, but at least in my area it's not very popular. One of the things is that you can hatch Tangela out of eggs right now. The same goes with Porygon. And that's kind of one of those signs that Niantic is giving us that they may be releasing Gen 4 sooner rather than later. Tangrowth, like we talked about in the last video, is going to be one of the best grass attackers, if not the best grass attacker. He's going to be very, very, very useful in a lot of type matching where you need the grass attacks. If he gets Solar Beam with this whopping 207 attack stat, that's going to do some major DPS. It will be devastating if he gets Solar Beam. So make sure that you stock up on the candies, go ahead and grab them. It probably is going to be like 100 candy evolution, just because I just feel like that would be, make sure you go ahead and grab the Tangela while you can, get to hatching those eggs, because that's where you're going to get those level 20s and 25s with weather boosts, and you're going to make sure you get your best chances at getting a high IV from an egg. Next we've got Electivire. Pending that they don't do the evolution items like I talked about with Rhyperior, Electabuzz is going to evolve into Electivire, and if it's just candy based, go ahead and stock up on the candies, because as we talked about, Electivire is going to be pretty good. To go ahead and have him in the decks as soon as Gen 4 comes out is going to be helpful. That way you don't have to worry about it later on, you'll go ahead and have it done. Next is Magmortar, obviously coming off of Electabuzz and Electivire. Magmortar is going to be from Magmar. Magmar I have seen spawn a couple of times in my area. Pending the right weather conditions, I have seen him pop up a few times. Of course, he's going to be the best fire attacker, fire Pokemon, as soon as Gen 4 releases. Barring no legendaries, of course. So, the quicker you can get those Magmar candies, the better. With the Entei event going on right now, there should be a research, which I'll put up on the screen, that you can get Magmar. Go ahead and grab them. As soon as Gen 4 comes out, you will have the best non-legendary fire attacker in the game. What's wrong with that? Next we've got Togekiss, which of course comes from Togepi to Togetic to Togekiss, so it's probably going to be like 100 candy evolution. If you're anything like me, you've hatched one Togepi and that's it, so you're kind of up creek, but Togekiss is going to be great. He's going to be the best fairy and the best flying type to come out of Gen 4. So it would be wise to go ahead and have him. He's going to be, with a 227 defense, he's going to be a decent gym defender. So you might want to look into that if you're into defending gyms and getting those gold gym badges to get the better gym spins and EX raid invites and all that good stuff. Togekiss is going to be a good help to that. Next we have Yanmega. Yanmega is going to be the best bug type to come out of Gen 4. And if you've noticed, a lot of these Pokemon are the best of Gen 4 for that specific type. Togekiss for Fairy, Togekiss for Flying, Yanmega for Bug, Magmortar for Fire. So by having the Yanma candies now, will net you the best bug type attacker out of Gen 4. Think about it. Go ahead and get the candies now and have one of the best Pokemon to come out of that generation. No legendaries, remind you. But what's wrong with that? Yanma, for me at least, has been very scarce during the Kanto event. Of course, once the Kanto event leaves, they will become a lot more prominent like they usually are for me. Next, we have Zythian. Of course, this is going to be an evolution, so they're probably going to stick with the whole name tricking thing that they usually do. A lot of people are spectating that these are going to be weather-based evolutions. During sunny weather, when grass type is boosted, you're going to be able to evolve Eevee into your Leafeon, and during the snow, whenever snow types or ice types are boosted, you'll be able to evolve your Eevee into Glaceon. Now, the only thing that I can kind of see that would be an issue is that if you live in an area where it very rarely snows, you're kind of stuck with only being able to get Leafeon unless you use your name trick. So hopefully they have some kind of workaround for that, but I could see them doing that. That does seem like something that Niantic would try to push, as an evolution for Eevees based on weather, because we have Buddy System and we have, well, actually Gen 1 is just random, so they could just throw them into the random pool. They really could. But Leafeon's going to be kind of a glass cannon just like Yanmega, with an attack stat of 216 and a defense of 254. He may be able to, or he may not be able to put out as much damage as Yanmega off the bat, but he will be able to last a little longer, so damage over time may be a little more comparable between the two. But Leafeon, of course, it's an evolution. It's super cool to have them. And the fact that there's already shiny Eevees in the game, you're going to be able to get shiny Leafeon basically from day one. Pending that Niantic doesn't do anything weird, but that would be really cool. Shiny Leafeon day one. Next, we've got Glaceon. Glaceon is one of my favorite evolutions. It just looks super cool. I love blue, and just the blue, it looks cool. As an ice attacker, of course, we know Mamoswine is going to be the best ice attacker to come out of Gen 4. So this would probably be somewhere in top 5 at least. Definitely top 5. Attack of 238 is very nice. So it will be able to DPS quite a bit. But just the same as Leafeon, probably going to be weather-based if they implement it that way. They could do it randomly, just like Gen 1s were. And then, of course, we'll have a naming trick that has something to go along with the evolutions, just like we've always had. So, of course, Eevee candies with Leafeon and Glaceon are going to be extremely relevant. I could see them throwing in the Leafeon and the Glaceon into another research type for Gen 4's mythical Pokemon, but you never know. Next, we've got Glisser, which of course is, he's from Gligar, and Gligar has always been one of my favorites. Glisser is going to be pretty cool. He's not really great stat-wise. His defense is very respectable, but he's not really great anywhere else. Just know that whenever you find the Gligars, whenever you hatch the Gligars, make sure that you stock up on those candies, because this is probably going to be a 50 candy evolution. I don't really see them pushing it all the way out to 100. It's definitely possible. Next, we have Mamoswine. Of course, we've already talked about Mamoswine in the previous video, but Mamoswine is going to be the best ice attacker out of Gen 4, and coming off of Swinub and Piloswine, it's going to be probably a 100 evolution. See, with Zubat to Golbat, it was 50 candies. And then from Golbat to Crobat, it stayed another 50 candies. So it was 100 total. To get from Zubat to Crobat, it was 100 candies. They may end up doing the same thing with this evolution line. If they do, it shouldn't be too hard. If Swinubs are really hard to catch in your area, just try to get them out of the eggs. I seem to freaking hatch them all the time. I'm tired of seeing them. I don't want them. But knowing that Mamoswine is coming out, it definitely makes it a lot easier to accept a Swinub coming out of an egg. He's going to be great. For an ice attacker, you're going to be able to take down dragon types like it's nobody's business. Going to be really good. Don't sleep on Mamoswine, definitely. Next, we've got Porygon Z. Obviously coming from Porygon, Porygon 2, now it's Porygon Z. We already talked about him being the best normal type coming out of Gen 4, so Porygon is appearing in eggs. He is appearing during the Kanto event. I have seen him several times. Porygon Z, it's going to be decent as a normal type if you need to basically just play the type game and be as neutral DPS as possible. Porygon Z will definitely be there to help. There's not a whole lot to say about Porygon Z. He's huggable. Next we've got Gallade. Of course, if you've played the original Gen 4 games, then you know that Gallade comes from a male Ralts. And Ralts for me is one of the hardest Pokemon to find in the wild. I think I found like 3, maybe 4 total. It's just extremely hard to find them. I only have a female, so I'm not sure how they will, if they will implement the gender specific evolutions. Hopefully they do, because it would be really cool if you caught a male Ralts that it could only evolve into Gallade, and then if you had a female it could only get to Gardevoir. I think that would be interesting. And of course it will probably take the same amount of candies as it does to get Gardevoir, to get Gallade, probably just gender specific. Next we have Probopass. This man, oh, he's just beautiful. He's beautiful. Of course, coming from Nosepass, I get Nosepasses all the time in eggs. That's basically the best way that I have found to get them. They very rarely spawn in my area, so he's not going to be really like super relevant. A max CP of only 1863 is not going to be hitting on a whole lot. But for the Dex entries, definitely go ahead and grab up any kind of Nosepasses that you can now, so that you can go ahead and get Probopass whenever he hits. Next we've got Dusknoir, which comes from the Duskull evolution line. Probably going to be, like I said with the Crobat situation, it's probably going to be another 50 candies on top of the middle evolution, so that you can get 100 candies total and have both. If you've not gotten enough Duskull candies, try to go out at night. Of course, ghost type Pokemon will spawn more frequently at night, as we found out. With a max CP of only 2046, it's not going to be super relevant, but for the Dex entry it'll definitely be worth it. I would probably wait till the Kanto event's over though, because Duskull is not spawning too much right now. It's all Ghastlies. Which Ghastlies aren't bad. You should get Ghastlies. Next we've got Frostlass, which of course comes from Snorunt. It's got to be a female Snorunt to get to the Frostlass. So, like I said with the Ralts and Gallade situation, hopefully they implement that. Being that there's 2 evolutions that are dependent on gender, at least 2 evolutions coming from Gen 4, it would make a lot of sense that they would go ahead and implement that now, because that is going to be kind of a bigger thing coming from Gen 4. So I could see them going ahead and implementing that, especially with multiple Pokemon needing that mechanic. Ice Attacker with a Ghost second type, max CP of 1857, not really worth holding on to, but meh, definitely worth it for the Dex entries. I have only caught 1 single Snorunt. Technically I didn't catch it, I hatched it, so hopefully you've had better luck finding them than me. Of course I've not been playing the game since it's been snowing, so hopefully I can get some more this winter. Next we've got Ambipom. He is going to evolve from Apom. Apom, that's right. A normal type, max CP of 2200. As far as the meta goes, he's going to be kind of irrelevant, but Apoms are kind of, outside the Kanto event, they're pretty common for me. Hopefully being normal type, they're pretty common for everybody. So go ahead and stock up on those. He's not going to be really meta relevant, so it's just kind of for the Dex entry for me personally, but don't forget about him. Next we've got Honchkrow, which obviously comes from the Murkrow, and some people are talking about how this, how Honchkrow could be a nice Houndoom replacement if you don't have the means to get a Houndoom. But with 2500 CP max, maybe. I could see it being substituted. Not really a replacement, but definitely a good substitution. An attack of 243 is very nice. Defense is pretty low, and stamina is actually decently high. So it could work out to a decent substitution for Houndoom if you're definitely going for more of a dark type moveset. So hopefully Honchkrow will be very good. Grab the Murkrows, of course. Everybody makes fun of Murkrows spawning all the time. Obviously outside the Kanto event that would be true. Now they're not spawning at all for me. So see if you can grab a shiny Murkrow and go ahead and have the shiny Honchkrow on day 1. Because that would be pretty cool. Next we've got Miss Magius, coming from Misdreavus. As we know, this is going to be the best ghost attacker to come out of Gen 4, so this will be kind of important. With a max CP of 2465, pretty decent. It's not like I said in the other video, it's not like the 3000 mark, which is really what we're looking for, but it'll definitely be worth getting those Misdreavus candies to get the Miss Magius on day 1. If not for the dex entry, at least for a good ghost attacker. While it's not going to probably replace Gengar by any means, it could definitely work as a low budget, meaning easier to find, substitution for Gengar. Definitely. And last but not least on the list, we have Weavile. Of course, we talked about Weavile and how Weavile is going to be the best dark type attacker to come out of Gen 4. With a max CP of 2815, he's just shy of the 3000 mark, which I definitely want to shoot for. But with an attack of 243, he could definitely be a decent... He may even be a better advantage than Houndoom if you need the ice move backup. If you think about Houndoom being dark and fire, this would be the equivalent to Houndoom on an ice standpoint. So, Weavile is going to be pretty important. Dark type moves, of course, he may be just a nice substitution for Houndoom, but in the case that you need ice moves and he gets decent ice moves, then you would be able to use him over Houndoom any day. But if you need ice, why wouldn't you just use Mamoswine? Duh. So, definitely go ahead and stock up on the Sneasel candles. Definitely go ahead and stock up on the Sneasel candies. I have a few. I don't think I'm going to be able to get one day 1, unfortunately, but it won't take long. Sneasels are pretty common in the area. As long as you go out at night, I can usually find a few, barring that there's some Kanto event. This Kanto event is throwing me so off because I'm not used to like all of the things that are spawning in my area anymore. Alright, so that is actually all of the Pokemon from Gen 4 that are going to have evolutions that are previously released in Pokemon Go. So anything that you heard mentioned in this video about evolutions, please go out and grab some now while you can during the Kanto event, while they're spawning like crazy from Gen 1. And after the Kanto event, of course, be on the lookout for anything else in the video that isn't in Gen 1 so that you can go ahead and have those Pokemon day 1. And remember, most Pokemon that we talked about in this video are very relevant to our last video about the best Pokemon to come out of Gen 4 for each type. A lot of the Pokemon that I talked about today are actually the best Pokemon of their type to come out of Gen 4. Which means if you stock up the candies now, you'll have the best Pokemons to come out of Gen 4 on day 1. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, until tomorrow, plan for tomorrow is we're going to go raiding. I'm going to try to find some Lickitung raids because I need some. I need them for the freaking Pokedex entry. But hopefully I'll be able to get enough candies for a Licky. Probably not. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know that. But we're also going to be looking for Mewtwo raids, of course. And pending that we can find some good ones and have a decent crowd, we will definitely be taking some more Mewtwo's tomorrow. So, hopefully you guys tune in tomorrow. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Yeah, that's about it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed what happened at the beginning of this video when my brother found the shiny Magikarp, because that was pretty neat. I'm looking for one myself and have yet to find one. So, alright, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow.